Everyone says Poulsbo is the perfect Seattle area escape. But is that charm worth the price or quietly draining your wallet? In this video, we break down what it really costs to call Poulsbo home. We'll look at renting here and buying here, then ask the question that matters most. Can you actually afford it? We'll cover getting around town and what you save doing it, where you can realistically commute for work, and how to eat out for less. We'll be honest about the trade-offs too. And by the end, one single number will tell you whether Poulsbo is a smart move or a money trap. Rent is where that contradiction first bites, and the number might just annoy you. Say you're eyeing Poulsbo for your next move. Renting here paints a vivid picture of the costs. A studio will run you about $1,400, and if you step up to a one-bedroom, you're looking at roughly $1,548, while a two-bedroom jumps to about $2,031. These rents sit 27.9% below the Seattle metro average, which might feel like a win, until you realize they've climbed 76% since 2018. A one-bedroom was just $882 back then, ballooning to $1,368 by 2022. And now this. Renting swallows 35% of the median income, leaving you to wonder if buying might be the better deal. But hold up, because buying means facing homes priced at 8.9 times the median income. The U.S. Census ACS and HUD fair market rents are what highlight these numbers. So the verdict on renting? It's a stretch, but it's less painful than buying. Here's the hard truth. Living in Poulsbo asks for more than a passing glance at your budget. It really isn't just about the rent here. It's about what your income can actually handle. With a median household income around $54,000, you're sitting 53.4% below Seattle's median and 28% below the national figure. That paints a pretty stark picture because typical rent here eats up 35% of that income, well above the 30% affordability benchmark. And if you're dreaming of home ownership, brace yourself, because a median home costs 8.9 times the local income. The U.S. Census ACS confirms all of these figures. So the verdict on affordability? A serious budget buster. Think you'll need a car here? Poulsbo might just surprise you. With a walk score of 76, a car is certainly useful, but it isn't entirely necessary. That's about 3% higher than Seattle's citywide score, which hints that you can lean on your car a little less. Now, biking isn't exactly Poulsbo's strong suit, with a bike score of 44, but it can still cover some trips and trim your transportation costs along the way. These insights come courtesy of Walk Score. So, the verdict on getting around? Walkability could save you some serious cash. Around here, your daily commute might just be the most scenic part of your day. Because commuting from Poulsbo means embracing the ferry life. The Washington State Ferries offer a 35-minute ride over to the downtown Seattle terminal, with boats departing every 40 to 65 minutes. If you'd rather stay on land, Kitsap Transit runs its number 344 bus, which connects North Viking P&R into Poulsbo, and also serves as a local bus around the area. And it's all part of the regional ORCA network system. So whether you're aiming for the East Side Tech Corridor or for downtown Seattle's government and tourism sectors, these water crossings really define your route. The verdict on commuting? It's scenic, but plan for a maritime schedule. On a budget, but still craving something tasty? Poulsbo's got you covered. Picture it. It's Friday, you've got $20 and no patience. Let's start with the genuinely cheap and genuinely good. Because Slew's Poulsbo Bakery boasts 4.7 stars from over 2,300 reviews. Stepping up a notch, but still easy on the wallet. You've got options like Juicy J's Smoked Burgers, a plant-based delight with 4.8 stars. And if you're craving sushi, Mori's Sushi and Bento hits the spot with 4.7 stars. From there, Pho T&N, Tisley's World Pub, Kachai Thai Kitchen, Sogno Divino, Barata Bistro, Chocmo Chocolatier and Cafe, Safewell and Greenlight Diner round out a lineup that keeps your taste buds happy without busting your budget. All of these ratings come from Google Places. So the verdict on dining? Lower priced and delicious. A win for your wallet. If you happen to be in that rare position to buy here, let's move quickly. The median home in Poulsbo sells for about $623,000, and it typically goes within 16 days on the market. That's 29.2% below Seattle, but it's still a hefty 120.9% above the national average. Sale prices have dipped 11% year over year, and with about 37% of listings cutting their prices, buyers do have some leverage here. These insights come from Redfin. So here's the verdict on buying. It's brutal, unless you're playing the long game. So what's the trade-off here? In a nutshell, the financial picture in Poulsbo comes down to weighing that steep home price multiple and the rising rent trend against the savings you can pocket by ditching the car more often. Think of it as your balancing act, so choose wisely. So, is Poulsbo the place for you? The one number that decides it all. A median home costs about 8.9 times the local income. Hold on to that figure, because everything we covered circles back to it. Let's recap. On renting, a studio runs about $1,400, a one-bedroom roughly $1,548, and a two-bedroom about $2,031. Those sit 27.9% below the Seattle metro average, but they've climbed 76% since 2018. On affordability, with a median household income around $54,000, you're 53.4% below Seattle and 28% below the national figure, and rent eats up 35% of that income, well above the 30% benchmark. On getting around, a walk score of 76, 3% higher than Seattle's, lets you lean on your car less, while the bike score of 44 can still trim some costs. On the commute, embrace the ferry life, a 35-minute ride to downtown Seattle, departing every 40 to 65 minutes. On eating out, Sly's Poulsbo Bakery shines, with 4.7 stars from over 2,300 reviews, plus plenty more lower-priced picks. On buying, the median home sells for about $623,000 in 16 days, down 11% year over year, with 37% of listings cutting prices. The trade-off? Steep home prices and rising rent against the savings of ditching the car. If this helped, please like and subscribe, and check out our cost of living breakdowns on nearby Silverdale and Bainbridge Island. In Poulsbo, the math is tight, but the small wins might just tip the scales.